That's a great photo of Millie. Oh my God.
That's his mom. Her brother. Good picture of Jerry, yeah. Couple of good pictures.
I did not know that Ozzy Parsons was your husband, and I knew him from the VA. Because he would come over and talk to us about all the different research projects he's been doing.
That's how I remember him, with beard and everything.
And it was just absolute wonderful. I could tell it
There's Cindy and Connor.
was somebody that was real.
That's how I remember Penny.
Yeah, yeah.
Ozzy Parsons, Ozzy Parsons. Because we knew him as Colin.
Big blonde hair lady.
Don't give me a shit. Yeah, I knew she was from
Nellie had a son.
occupational therapist. I'll be doing it too.
I got the last trip to Europe that they went on. They all went to Italy.
Picture of
Clinical psychology, that's what he wants to do.
There's the kid. Cindy and Connor and Nellie. That's Connor.
We're gonna be right there away the whole time. The only reason why that here was good.
Oh, I know, but we're gonna be in the 30s. Yeah.
Cookies have a great
There's Ben and Connor.
lines for face out like it was.
This is Seattle.
Church endowment fund.
Probably the last year they. There's the. Always love them.
Oh, yeah, we're in New Hampshire, Vermont. The mountains of Vermont are green. They're tree color. These are very, very, very old. I did want to go to your plan, I truly did, but I felt Judy has been spending so much. She missed a lot of last night for church services. And I understand that.
most of you, perhaps not all, many of you, Kent Dawson, the minister here at First Unitarian Church in Oklahoma City, and our congregation is deeply honored to host a celebration of someone that is so dear to so many of us. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to silence or turn off your phones or anything else that might be distracting to us during this time together. In this service, in our time together today, we invite memories of Millie Parsons to be with us. Each of you come with your own memories of Millie, as a friend, a mentor, a mother, or grandmother. Her relationship with each of you was unique. Also, through Millie's long life, she grew and changed. Some of you were blessed to know her for decades and to see her grow and evolve. Today, as we celebrate her life and make her presence with us, we bring diverse images of a woman who touched our lives. With gratitude, we come to honor and remember Millie Parsons today, so that we may grow through an ending, and with all these memories gathered up, gain strength for moving through the days ahead. Today, let us be honest with death. Let us not pretend that it is less than it is. It is separation, it is sorrow. But let us neither pretend that death is more than it is. It is not annihilation. As long as memory endures, her influence will be felt. It's not an end of love either. Humanity's need for love from each of us is boundless. That is not an end to joy or laughter. Nothing would less honor a generous, vibrant soul than to make our lives drab in respect. So let's be honest with that. In that honesty, we'll understand Millie better and ourselves more. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, it's our custom to light a flaming chalice, like the one up there, when we're gathered for worship or for a special moment. So today, Millie's grandsons, Connor, William, and Alex are going to light our chalice. Almost up there. We come together from the diversity of our feelings to gather in the warmth of this, giving stubborn witness to our belief that in times of sadness there is room for laughter. In times of darkness, there always will be light. For many, many years, the hymn, "O Light That Maketh All Things New," was sung every Sunday in this church. Millie loved that tradition, and it was her clear wish for us to sing it together here today in her home. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to join in. Number 12, praise. spirit of life, and also our companion in times of loss. Be with us as we sit with the loss and celebrate such a beautiful life. Help us remember that we each come into the world in mystery, and we go away the same way. Give us strength to feel the blessing of connection, which grows deeper than human knowing, and hope enough to honor the gifts of life, even in the times of loss. May all gathered today carry forward the goodness, determination, humor, and love of Millie Parsons, whose life and death have brought us together. Hopefully you still have those great symbols in your head. And I'm going to invite you to join me in a responsive reading. Number 468. Called We Need One Another. I'll read the words in regular type print, and you can read the words in italics. Again, that's number 468. We need one another when we mourn and when we comfort.
We need one another in sorrow and praise.
We need one another when we are in despair and temptation and need to be recalled to our best selves again.
We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone.
We need one another in the hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumph.
We need one another in the hour of defeat, when the encouragement we want to endure and stand again.
We need one another when we come to die, and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey.
All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us.
In preparation for this inevitable day, Millie wrote this story of her life back in 2009. I want to read for you what Millie recorded of her own story. She says, I was born to Carl and Ivor and Carrie Bell Benson on June 30th, 1926, in Worcester, Massachusetts. I had 5 brothers and 1 sister, and we were a close family. I grew up in Patna, a part of Worcester, and lived in the same house until I went away to college. We had a rustic summer home on a pond in Oakham, Massachusetts, where we spent our summers swimming, boating, picking blueberries, and playing outdoors. I went to Catholic school, Dever Street Prep, and graduated from Classical High School in 1944. I spent 1 year at Mass State College in Amherst, and then transferred to Boston School of Occupational Therapy. After graduating, I got a position as an occupational therapist in the Occupational Therapy Department of Worcester State Hospital, a large psychiatric hospital. Ozzy, or Oscar Albert Parsons, and I met at the hospital, where he was an intern in the psychology department. I knew him as Oz or Ozzy, and he always called me Mill. We were married on September 10th, 1949, at Catholic Congregational Church. We moved to Durham, North Carolina, where Oz worked for his PhD in clinical psychology. I was the OT at the North Carolina Cerebral Hospital for Children. We were poor, but so were all the graduate students. And though it was a hard time, we were happy. After several years, we returned to Worcester. Oz worked on his dissertation, and we had a baby, Marilyn. She was beautiful, and we were so proud of her. Gary was born 2 years later. during a January snowstorm. Oz finished his dissertation and accepted a job at Duke as an associate professor. We moved back to Durham, built a house and life seemed to be going along well. Nancy was born in July 1956, and Grandma Parsons came to help with all the child. Oz was offered a new position in Oklahoma Health Science Center as a professor of behavioral sciences, and we moved to Oklahoma City in 1959. I had to get an encyclopedia and look up exactly where Oklahoma was.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a good. Ozzy moved forward in his career and in time to become an internationally recognized person in the field of neuropsychology. The focus of his work was teaching and research. I got my master's degree in elementary education and taught school. Our children grew, attended public school, and did all the things they should. We joined the Unitarian Church and were staunch Okies, whatever that means. The family spent a year in Denmark from 1967 to 68, and it was a wonderful experience. We traveled with Oz wherever he was invited to speak, and camped the last month throughout Europe, the west of the Iron Curtain. But we were ready to come back to our country, and it was a wonderful sight to see the Statue of Liberty as the ship sailed into New York. Europe was great, but we realized the USA was the best. Life has moved on since then. The children grew and left home. Marilyn is Dr. Marilyn and is a scientist at the Seattle Biomedical Research Institute. And Nancy is a French and science teacher at the community school in Sun Valley, Idaho. Gary was our free spirit. He became a ski bum for several years, moved to Boulder, Colorado, and finally back to Oklahoma, where he worked for Holding Carrier, a company that made shopping carts. He worked there for 13 years and died of a heart attack in 2004. We had 13 years of renewed relationship. Gary's first love was the mountains of Colorado, and after he died, his sisters and I gathered some of his ashes in his Copper Mountain prison body. Oz developed heart problems in the 1990s and had surgery for a mitral valve replacement in 1999. He was hospitalized several times and finally died in February of 2000. It was time. He had a full and good life. He was a wonderful husband and a father, a respected scientist and a gentleman. He was nearing his 80th birthday. I live in Oklahoma City in a small house. I travel and visit my children and their families, Lydia and Jack, sister and husband, my nieces and sister-in-law on Cape Cod, and go to elder hospitals and quilting tours. My church is a great support for the community of friends. I have had a rewarding life, and I'm grateful to have been part of the Benson family and to have married Autumn and had our wonderful children. But I do miss my mom. January 2000. So I want to invite Nancy and Marilyn to share some of their thoughts.
Some of this will be a little bit of a repetition, but a little bit of insight. Mildred Benson, our mom, was amazing and a remarkable woman. I'm Nancy Parsons Brown, and this is my sister Marilyn Brown. Thank you so much for being here and honoring our mother's life. As you heard, she was born in Worcester, Massachusetts on June 30th, 1926. She almost made it to 100 years old. Wow. She was named for our Granny's sister, and Mildred, never knew her name. She was called Sister.
Yeah.
Until she was about, in grade school. Our Aunt Lydia did not know her name until she was about 5 years old. Mom talked about her early life with her family and had particularly fond memories of going up to camp. So they would leave the first Saturday after school was out and return the first Saturday right before school started. And their grandfather bought camp, and it was basically just a fishing shack with on a lake. It did not have electricity, it had no indoor plumbing. It had a generator. It had a hand pump in the kitchen that we used, and an outhouse. And a kind of a cabin, but no real house. And the 7 kids loved it. But we were talking, and our question is, can you imagine being Carrie Bell Benson, my grandma, Carrie Bell Benson, spending the entire summer with 7 children up at a camp with your husband only coming up on the weekends? Crazy. Mom remembers picking blueberries, making blueberry pancakes, and had the best baking she ever had that was cooked, and her mother cooked on a bean pot on the wood stove. And she became Mill and Millie. Her first career choice, occupational therapy, suited her well. And because she was a person who liked working with her hands and was incredibly creative. She worked at Worcester State Hospital where she met Dad. So they used to sit on the wall outside the hospital, and Dad would come walking by, looking at it, kind of waiting to hear back then. And little did she know, when she met Dad, that she was going to become Millie, or our dad's Mill. Mom and Dad had a strong, mutually respectful marriage. Until the end of her life, Mom always said, I had the best husband. So it took a lot of courage for her to leave New England because nobody really left New England, right? They all stayed there, and she moved to Durham for our dad's job, and Durham married. They bought their first home, like you heard, and they were poor, but one thing Mom said, and we were talking about it, because I was complaining in college about being so poor and I couldn't afford anything. She said, well, Nancy, we had to hang up our socks and underwear on hangers because we couldn't afford dresses.
Okay, well, Nancy's very. So the next move was in 1959 when we moved to Oklahoma City, which, as was alluded to in the story, nobody in the Benson family knew where Oklahoma was.
That's right.
Right? So where are you going? Well, we were now a family of 5 since Nancy had been born. And we moved here, and Dad joined the OU Health Science Center where he was working. This is when they joined First Unitarian Church, because we hadn't been really church before when we were little, and they thought it was maybe time for us to get a little education. So this church became a big part of their lives. I think they were really surprised at how important it became to them. We remember going to the big church. That's what we call it, big church, because children went to chapel, right? And Reverend Holmes was the minister at that time, and some of you probably remember him. He was actually, almost thought he was God, because he was so big, and he would bring these big robes, and he talked in a booming voice. Anyway, we heard him preach, and as our reward for coming to church, and I don't mean heaven, I mean we got to go to Cherry Cafeteria. A few years later, with all her kids under the age of 7, Nancy's little one, Mom decided to get her undergraduate and master's degree in teaching, and she visited OCU. This was only made possible by her exceptional organizational skills and the course in support of her dad. Her teaching experience was emblematic of her creativity. So, for example, she used poker chips as prizes for work well done, and students could use those poker chips to earn free time. Another thing she did was make beautiful science notebooks with incredible drawings, including, if you might be interested, one of worms outside Texas. We took a lot of family vacations, which were among the best of times. We camped our way across the nation, both east and west, in our funny station wagon, which we called the Blue Bomber. Mom and Dad created a standard routine for setting up camp, where everybody knew their job. They crafted, they made this concept so we could try to do this as fast as we could so we could create our new world record. As we pulled into the campsite, that's when the timer started. We loved tramping around on the trails and splashing in rivers and having campfires. All right, Dan, you're next.
We were inspired by our mother. We are grateful to her because she was such a positive role model in our life. She was a good mother who also had her own interests and passions. And those were so varied. Working, organizing, learning, creating gave purpose to Mom. She was a doer. If you ever spent any time with Millie, right, Kathy, you can remember that she would have a list, and she would have a clipboard, and she might even have her pointer finger extended, giving me some instructions. She loved to learn new skills and try out different artistic pursuits throughout the years. Like in the 70s, she did macrame. Later, she did calligraphy and factory weaving. She took art classes and switched her career from teaching to becoming a potter in 1970 full-time. She had a studio in her house with 4 kilns, and she used to love to say that she sponsored OG&E. She did workshops, sold her work in art shows, and she made many pots. We had dishes, plate settings, mugs, bowls, canisters, and we even had Christmas ornaments with the grandchildren's names on them. It was important to our mom that she made her pottery that would be functional, but with a little bit of flair, a little bit of that, just like our dad was so proud of Mom's art, and it was really kind of awe-striking. I can remember Dad kind of befuddled and sighing and looking at her and going, she's something. We old Mom's pottery pieces are still used in showcases. Mom bought a Singer sewing machine right after she got married as a wedding gift to herself. At first, it was quite practical for making clothes we wore, and even the clothes we wore when we opened presents on Christmas Day. We will never forget the corduroy, turquoise, leopard skin print pants that we both had. It was awesome because we had matching pairs. We just thought we were expecting it. Remember, we tried to find the same pattern on the internet and shockingly could not find it. No matter what, leopard skin corduroy pants and turquoise. This early practical skill turned into fascination of sewing and quilting, yielding many award-winning quilts and various competitions. She made just about everything you can imagine out of material. And truly labors of love, she made colorful, beautiful, very precise, full-size quilts for us and even her grandchildren. She was an athlete. She was always very active. Every house we lived in, she had a garden with blooming flowers and vegetables, and she became a master gardener. And in warm weather, she used to swim in the pool before the city house all the time. And it was back in the day, you remember the Blue Pond marriages, and you would go and you go to the salon and get your hair done, and she did not want to wet her hair, so she would wear this bathing cap that She got on a running kick. She started playing tennis with doubles with dad. She learned to sail in a lawn. Like, you married, probably remember that. Joy returned to skiing in the late seventies. She loved hiking, camping, and even backpacking. She went on her first backpacking trip with dad in 1979 at the age of 53. She loved nature, and she led hikes for the church and did backpacking trips together. So, even in her late years, she continued to be active, which is one of the reasons she could manage living alone for so many years. Up into her late nineties, Mom was known in her neighborhood for her daily walk, pushing her walker, wearing that canary yellow coat and a hat, usually that she knitted in a very determined expression.
Yeah, all of our neighbors, they say, oh, Millie, you remember her, she was the one who was always walking, rain or shine. So, stepping back, we're going back to 1967, that's the year we spent in Denmark for Dad's sabbatical. Mom was in charge of organizing and running the family life. Simple things like shopping, driving, taking public transit were challenging, of course, because none of it was dangerous. A highlight was our summer travel. We took advantage of all of our camping experiences in the United States. We camped all over Europe in our new BMW camper bus. Rather than hiking trails, we saw historic places. At every visit to a monument or cathedral, Mom would pull out the guidebook and she would start to read to us aloud. And we would be like, oh, Mom, please don't do that. Because we thought if she wasn't reading that guidebook, we would just look like we were both. Okay. The time we spent together that year was a year that was the basis of many happy memories for our family. Okay, this is a little aside, so don't get offended, but one thing I remember was that Mom never cursed when we were young, and of course didn't allow us to either. She firmly told us that we were not allowed to call each other a stupid shut up, which for some reason was what we called each other when we were and really until I left for college, I never heard her curse, except one time she hit her finger with a hammer and she said, damn it. So I said that was it. But some of you might know that late in life she got a wider range of curses, only mitigating. Once the kids were gone, Mom came to enjoy cooking a lot more and added to her repertoire. No longer meat, potatoes, and salad. We had every day. She had more things like delicious pastas, recipes from Bon Appetit, and whatever struck her fancy. When we came home from college, that was a big but welcome surprise. Mom was such a great grandma. She would come to visit, sometimes alone, and sometimes with Dad. One time, she even took care of the kids, my kids, when, actually, maybe Clay wasn't even born then. My husband and I went to Hawaii. The grandkids loved to play with her, and she really enjoyed them, which really, of course, made me grateful that I had to do it. Then after our dad died, our brother Gary died soon after that. It was good for the three of us, Mom, me, and Nikki, to be able to meet each other and comfort one another. It's a hard thing to lose your brother, but it's even harder to lose your son. We visited each other and spoke often on the phone about whatever was going on in our lives. We took trips with Mom to places in the United States and abroad, including Panama, Italy, and France. In Mom's mid-80s, we were able to visit her more, often to help with things that were too hard for her to do. But we also spent a lot of time just having fun together. And she was so fortunate to have good friends from the church, like Kat, especially Kathy, who cheerful, except when we talk about politics or when the thunder off. Nancy and I left Oklahoma when we went to college. We spent more time of our lives having a long distance relationship with our mom than we did as a her. But we felt very close to her all throughout her entire life. We feel so fortunate that we have such a wonderful mother who stood by us and supported us in what we wanted to do in our lives, and that mom gave us the opportunity to do the same. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for being here to honor the life of my grandma, Millie. My name's Carrie. I'm here today with my mom, Marilyn, my brothers, Alex and Willie, and the rest of the Parsons family. I flew in yesterday from Seattle, where I grew up. As a Pacific Northwest girl, people are always surprised to hear how much I love Oklahoma. Our cities, they feel worlds apart sometimes. But I will always have a special place in my heart for Oklahoma City. The red dirt, the expansive land, the Native American and Western heritage, it all brings back nostalgia for me. But it's not really those things about Oklahoma that make me nostalgic. It's what they represent. The many summer vacations I spent here with my grandparents. I spent so many summers learning to sew and make pottery with grandma, jumping in the backyard pool while grandpa threw a ball for the grandkids to catch midair, eating really, really good home-cooked meals, and hearing stories about my mom's childhood growing up here. Grandma's memories will live on, especially every holiday season, as I decorate my house with her Christmas clothes, as my kids eat off her pottery and hang my Christmas decorations on the tree that we made in her pottery studio. And when we make the recipes for her peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies. Many of you know that my grandma was a smart, driven, and no-nonsense woman. I am so lucky to have her, my Aunt Nancy, and especially my mom, as role models. Grandma was an occupational therapist and then a teacher, all while raising 3 children and being an active part of her community. She was an exceptional woman, and she instilled in me the values that have guided my own life as I raised my 2 children and worked as a pediatric and women's health nurse. Her example of serving others, working hard, and caring deeply for her family has shaped the kind of mother, nurse, and person I strive to be. Grandma had a way of making you feel like there was nowhere else she'd rather be than with her family. But as accomplished as Grandma was, she also had a wonderful sense of humor. Let me tell you, I think she might have had a thing for doctors. PhD and MD. She didn't discriminate, because she certainly loved Ozzy, and she let it be known that she loved my husband too. I'll never forget the joke she made during my wedding. She teased that my husband Jesse might not notice if Grandma walked down the aisle in a blonde wig. I feel so lucky that I was able to visit Grandma last October with my 3-year-old daughter, Mary, named after my mom. Grandma was herself all the way till the end of her life. She absolutely lit up when she met my daughter. Seeing Grandma with Mary reminded me that her love for family stayed strong for 99 remarkable years. Because of Grandma, our Parsons, Ledbetter, and Brown family shares so much love and joy. We are dedicated to continuing our family reunion, making more memories as our families grow and our kids get older. Welcome to the world, baby darling. So thank you, Grandma, for this family I love so much, and a heartfelt goodbye from all of us. I truly hope I can raise my children to carry on Grandma Millie's legacy. She made the world a better place. I'll always love her. As Grandma would say, what's done is done. And Grandma is really good.
Hi, I'm Ellie, I'm Millie's other grandmother. I'm 5 years old, and we're visiting Grandma and Grandpa for the week. In the morning, our eyes fly open, and we run downstairs, probably already in our bathing suits. We feverishly eat breakfast while the adults have their coffee. Before they can finish, they're already waiting to go in school. But of course, you have to wait the obligatory 30 minutes. So Grandpa distracts us with his finger characters while Grandma chuckles at how animated he gets. We spend half the day in school and doing tricks off the diving board. Connor saying, "Ready, Grandpa?" as he jumps in when Grandpa was absolutely not ready. And me hanging with Grandma in the shower head in my water room. In the afternoon, we race big wheel tricycles around the house and pool, acting like mailmen, delivering the same 6 pieces of mail over and over again. After dinner, we all gather in the living room and watch Cinderella 45th time. Us kids lay on the floor, on pillows, fighting to stay awake, pulled to the brim, happening. I can't tell you how many times I have said thinking, that's the best way to end. That was the thing about Grandma and Grandpa's house. It was always the best. We created core memories so good. I can still remember the way their cards and their house smelled. It was a house of pure love. And when my grandma passed away, Grandma made sure it was still the same. Even when she downsized to Rosedale Gardens, which was the best vacation coming to Grandma's house. Grandma was the best, whether it was her accepting her fate, when our brother Finn decided she was Jabba the Hutt during Sandbox Star Wars, or her teaching us how to make pottery, and calling our multicolored lumps works of art. If we were asking questions, she was teaching us something new, be it baking, sewing, pottery, or gardening. One thing that was particularly influential for me was that Grandma was an amazing artist as a person. She was obviously an amazing sculptor and potter, but it seemed like anything she picked up, she was good at. From the time I was a kid, she encouraged and fostered making art because she saw the value in it. I wish I had told her what an inspiration she was to me to stick with art, eventually major in it in college, and bring it into my career. In a world where everyone tells you you'll be a starving artist, my grandma was always cheering me on. started to be a real straight shooter. When I was at 11 years old with my mom and my aunt, Grandma would turn to me and go, "Tell me, all they do is boss me around," and then crack up laughing. My favorite story was when I got my nose pierced, and she looked at my face for a long time and said, "What the heck is on your face?" She certainly spoke her mind, and it was one of my favorite things about her. It's hard to encapsulate the life of a woman who lives 99.9 years, especially when I only knew her during my 34 years of life. So I'll just say this. Grandma, you were an inspiration, a strong woman, an amazing mother, the best wife Grandma could dreamed of, a talented artist, an amazing supporter, and the best damn grandma ever. I will miss you the rest of my life, and I will never forget to mark you up on our grandkids. I love you all.
I first remember going to show her in the early 1980s, when she was there organized the church prayer. About 40 of us traveled overnight to Colorado on a very uncomfortable beachside. But it was a great trip, the skiing was good, and Millie had it all well time. She was kept in use right along. She was born in the left the outdoors, left the active. One of her favorite places was looking for wildlife refuge. And she often led the church day night there. On one of those long trips, I remember helping Millie to gather spices for her on the wild way. She started to play with one of the young grandson, some sort of one. And she was a son grandmother and liked to hiking. He also enjoyed having around the state with him. And she could be counted on to leave Saturday morning like 3 times. He was a Methodist prophet and was well known in the local art community. I'm sure many of the old Methodist prophets still talk about living. He enjoyed cooking, and up until the mid-90s, he baked bread and his own meals. He was a member of the church cooking covenant, and was a long time member of the Alliance, probably at the rest of the family. For many years, he enjoyed helping organize the legendary Lions food cake day. During that trip to Centennial, I had the pleasure of working with him on the kitchen committee. In the very involved in 7 groups, the kitchen was relocated from the basement and rebuilt to its present Samuel Hall level. He was very enthusiastic about that project and always took great pride in the fortunate to be able to visit another business, and I always enjoy it. I will visit her, remember her, fondly, her humor, her optimism, and her faith.
Thank you all for sharing those memories of full lifetime. During the reception after our service in Daniel Hall, there will be more opportunities to share more of those memories with each other and take that opportunity. For now, we have one more hymn to sing together. It's number 359 in your parade hymnal. 359, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to sing last. 354. Thank you.
Thank you.
but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. A reception has been set up for everyone in Daniel Hall, and you are all invited to stick around and enjoy. But immediately following this service, before heading into the reception, Millie's family and close friends and anyone who wishes may gather on our patio. Together, we'll place the remains of Millie in our memorial garden. That will be a brief, intimate time that you're welcome to observe if you would like. Let us take a short moment of silence to